for Duce Jones, who's got Duce Jones? We love Duce Jones. Everybody asks their Duce Jones, who's got Duce Jones? Where is Duce Jones? There is Duce Jones. He's got everything that you need. He likes to play games and do stuff. But Duce Jones, he's awesome. It's the Duce Jones and Friends show. Duce Jones and Friends was filmed to a live audience.
Poor Bennie. Any moment now, it will be all over. And for the first time since he met her, he'll be happy again. Poor, miserable, lovesick teddy bear. I have no doubt people will say I shouldn't have helped him. Yep. But it's better this way. And let's not forget that first morning that started it all. When I was sitting outside with my best friend, Bennie the bear, until she arrived. Her name was Penny. Penny the panda. She moved into my neighborhood just a week ago. I thought she was nice, but from the moment Bennie met her, he was madly in love. Things started to get a bit awkward fast. I tried to stop him, but it was no use. Bennie and Penny, they felt connected to one another. I've never seen Bennie so happy in my whole life. It looked like they belonged to each other. But Bennie had a rival, Bobo the bear, his cousin. Yep, Bennie and Bobo were huge rivals. And this made Bennie more furious than ever. No matter how hard I tried to tell him to just move on from her, he ignored me. When he showed his love letter to Penny, I have no doubt something bad will happen. Yep, I thought so. Bennie was desperate. After a lot of thinking, he decided to buy her a special present. And of course, Bobo does it again. When his special gift failed to impress, he told me he'd decided to do something he should have thought of in the beginning. To take her on a date. He decided to take her to the movies, then take her to a restaurant of her choice, and later take her out for ice cream for dessert. And when he told her that, guess what? Yep. Bobo already asked Penny out on a date at his house. Bennie went downhill fast after that. He started doing drugs. And later, he started drinking. Things started to go from bad to a lot worse, because he even stopped hanging out with me. Believe me, I tried to help him out, but it was no use. He even spent hours crying. And the worst part was to end it all. Thankfully, he survived the jump. But just when I was about to comfort him, we both witnessed something that would break his heart really badly. Bobo and Penny officially became a couple. Yep, that's the story. The story of a teddy bear who went from being my best friend to a mess. It's sad that everyone doesn't have a girl like mine. A girl who was really faithful and loyal to me. Hoppy the Bunny. And say, at least things can't get worse for me, right?
their Duce Jones? Who's got Duce Jones? We love Duce Jones. Everybody asks their Duce Jones. Who's got Duce Jones? Where is Duce Jones? There is Duce Jones. He's got everything that you need. He likes to play games and do stuff. But Duce Jones, he's awesome. It's the Duce Jones and Friends show. Duce Jones and Friends was filmed to a live audience.